Objective 3.04, students will be able to determine whether or not two lines cut by a transversal are parallel given certain angles. So these two relationships on top do not tell us that we have parallel lines. So if vertical angles are congruent, like angle 4 and angle 2, we don't know if AB is parallel to CD because angle 2 and angle 4 don't tell us anything about the second line. Likewise, linear pairs like angle 5 and 6, knowing that they add to equal 180 degrees, knowing that they are supplementary, does not tell us whether AB is parallel to CD because angle 5 and angle 6 only involve CD. They don't involve AB, so we don't know if they're parallel. On the other hand, when we have these relationships, if we can find even just one of them and be sure that it's true, then we will know that lines are parallel. So for example, if we can find that alternate interior angles like 3 and 5 are congruent, then that will tell us, yes, AB is parallel to CD. So let's try this problem. In the diagram below, the measure of angle GAH equals 3x. The measure of angle BAH equals x plus 120. The measure of angle ADC equals y. And the measure of angle FDE equals 2y minus 50. Okay, so we can write an equation to solve for x, and we can write an equation to solve for y. Then we'll have to look and see if we have angle relationships like these ones that allow us to say, yes, the lines are parallel, or no, they are not. So let's solve for x. I see that these two angles are linear pairs. I see that they add to equal a total of 180. So I can say 3x plus x plus 120 equals 180. This is 4x plus 120 equals 180. We'll subtract 120 from both sides and we'll say that 60 equals 4x. We'll divide both sides by 4 and say that x equals 15. Now we can substitute x equals 15 back in and see that this 3x equals 45 and this x plus 20 equals 135, and that should make sense because if we add those two together, they equal 180 degrees in total. Now we'll write an equation for the y's, but this is a different relationship. Here we have vertical angles, and we know that vertical angles are congruent. Their measures are equal to each other. So in this equation, we will set this angle equal to this angle. So there are different ways to do this problem, but we could add 50 to both sides and subtract y from both sides and get 50 equals y. If that was too fast for you, then just pause the video and do it your way. You should definitely find y equals 50. So if y equals 50, then that means that this angle is 50 and this angle is also 50. So now, are there any angle relationships that we recognize? Well, we should recognize this screenshot relationship, corresponding angles. And angle GAH and angle CDA or CDH, those should be corresponding angles if these lines are parallel. But they don't equal each other. So because of that, we're going to say that the lines are not parallel. So angle GAH and angle CDA would be corresponding congruent angles if GB were parallel to CF. Angle GAH is not the same as angle CDA, so lines are not parallel. Let's just show one other relationship real quick. So if this angle is 50, then this and this angle are linear pairs. They add to equal 180. So then that would mean that this angle would be 130 degrees. And again, looking for corresponding angles, this angle should be corresponding with this angle if the lines are parallel. But they are not corresponding because they're not congruent. And that means that the lines are not parallel. This is a confusing topic. You did a great job.